Okay. Revolution test number 1. Intolerable acts imposed. First Continental Congress convened. Thomas Paine's Common Sense published. All the events listed above occurred during the era of westward expansion, the era of good feelings, the Revolutionary era, the Jacksonian era. Number 2, how did mercantilist policies create tension between Great Britain and the colonies? By introducing indentured servitude to the middle colonies, by requiring colonists to enlist in the military, by limiting the amount of farmland each colonist could have, by preventing colonists from trading with most other foreign countries. Number 3. Cause is Parliament passed the Stamp Act of 1765. What is the immediate effect? Colonists sought military support from France. Colonists organized boycotts of British goods. Colonists signed the Declaration of Independence. Colonists dumped tea into Boston Harbor. Number 4, Sugar Act, Quartering Act, Stamp Act. These acts contributed to the start of the Revolutionary War by restricting colonial trade with American Indians, by imposing regulations on colonial agriculture, by angering colonists who believed that their civil liberties were being violated, by punishing colonists for resisting the authority of Parliament. Number 5. It is essential to the freedom and security of a free people that no taxes be imposed upon them but by their own consent or their representatives. The Sons of Liberty addressed to the public, New York, December 15, 1773. The excerpt above reflects the dissatisfaction of American colonists with the political debates that took place at the Albany Convention, interference of Great Britain in the slave trade, economic consequences of the Great Awakening, economic policies imposed Great Britain following the French and Indian War. That one should have said economic policies imposed by Great Britain following the French and Indian War. Number 6, British colonists objected to the proclamation of 1763 because they feared it would provoke attacks from American Indians, did not want to share control of the fur trade with France, resented the limits it imposed on westward expansion, wanted to be able to trade freely with foreign nations. Number 7, the Continental Congress issued this commission, we, reposing special trust and confidence in your patriotism, valor, conduct, and fidelity, do by these presents constitute and appoint you to the General and Commander-in-Chief of the Army of the United States, Army of the United Colonies, and of all the forces now raised, or to be raised by them, and of all others who shall voluntarily offer their service. Commissioned from the Continental Congress, June 17, 1775. That was issued to commission Benedict Arnold, Alexander Hamilton, John Hancock, or George Washington. Number 8. Why is the Battle of Saratoga considered a turning point in the Revolutionary War? The British victory extended the fighting for another year. The American defeat led many soldiers to desert the Continental Army. The British defeat marked the beginning of a steady decline in British military superiority. The American victory convinced France to ally with the United States. What was one result of the Treaty of Paris of 1783? Great Britain recognized the United States as an independent country. Competing Seminole and Spanish claims in West Florida were resolved. The British Navy agreed to stop pressing American sailors into service. British territory in eastern Canada was ceded to France. Number 10. Here in the autumn of 1777, American forces met, defeated, and forced a major British army to surrender. This crucial American victory in the Battle of Saratoga, Concord, Trenton, or Yorktown renewed patriots' hopes for independence, secured essential foreign recognition and support, and forever changed the face of the world. A crucial American victory. U.S. National Park Service. Blah, blah, blah. So which one of the following best completes the excerpt? Saratoga, Concord, Trenton, Yorktown. Number 11. America may boast that she has accomplished what no power before her ever did, contending with Britain, captured 2 of their celebrated generals, and each an army of thousands of veteran troops to support them. Abigail Adams, letter to John Adams, December 9, 1781. To which of the following is Abigail Adams referring to in this excerpt? The American victory at the Battle of Yorktown, the negotiation of the Treaty of Paris by American diplomats, the bravery of American soldiers at Valley Forge, the arrival of French aid after the Battle of Saratoga. Number 12. How do we finance a war? Who has the power to negotiate treaties? What prevents the executive from becoming too powerful? Which group was responsible for answering these questions? Settlers creating the Mayflower Compact, delegates writing the Articles of Confederation, representatives drafting the Fundamental Orders of Connecticut, colonists negotiating the Albany Plan of Union. Number 13. Which of these is a grievance from the Declaration of Independence? Colonists born in America were prohibited from holding elected office. Colonists were forced to quarter troops in their homes. Colonists were not eligible to become officers in the British Army. Colonists were required to serve a year in their colony's militia. So which of those is a grievance from the Declaration of Independence? Number 14. Which excerpt from the Declaration of Independence best explains why colonists were unhappy about their lack of representation in the British Parliament? He has refused to pass other laws for the accommodation of large districts of people, for imposing taxes on us without our consent. He has refused his assent to laws, the most wholesome and necessary for the public good, for transporting us beyond seas to be tried for pretended offenses. Number 15, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. This list includes rights that are considered transferable, legislated, unalienable, inherited. Number 16. That all men are equally free and independent and have certain rights, of which they cannot by any compact deprive or divest. which means remove, their prosperity, future generations, among which are the enjoyment of life and liberty with the means of acquiring and possessing property and pursuing and obtaining happiness and safety. Virginia Declaration of Rights, 1776. In this excerpt, the authors of the Virginia Declaration of Rights are describing rights they consider granted to citizens by their government, natural and possessed at birth, protected under religious doctrine, defined by the courts. Number 17, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. The rights listed above were established by a series of Supreme Court decisions, defined by Thomas Jefferson in the Declaration of Independence, established by the ratification of the U.S. Constitution, defined by President George Washington in his farewell address. Number 18, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. Declaration of Independence, 1776. This excerpt refers to the rights that people earn by demonstrating loyalty to their government, rights that people receive by becoming citizens of a country, rights that people have as a result of being human, or rights that people are granted after enlistment in the military. Number 19, John Hancock was one of the founding fathers committed to liberty. How did he demonstrate this commitment? By writing the Articles of Confederation, by serving as Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Army, by organizing committees of correspondence, by signing the Declaration of Independence. Number 20. Parliament passes the Tea Act of 1773. Colonists dump tea into Boston Harbor. Which of these completes this graphic organizer? Parliament repeals the Stamp and Sugar Acts. King George III allows colonists to petition Parliament for tax relief. Parliament passes the Intolerable Acts. King George III appoints colonial representatives to Parliament. Number 21. In 1787, Congress awarded John Paul Jones the Congressional Gold Medal in honor of his valor and brilliant services during the Revolutionary War. Which accomplishment was Congress recognizing? Leading the evacuation of Washington, D.C. during the British invasion, preparing the strategy for the American victory at Yorktown, persuading France to provide military assistance to the Continental Army, commanding a victory at sea against the British Navy.